I'm well on my way to Ontario. I didn't realize, I did not factor in that the race is starting an hour ahead of schedule than they usually do. Obviously, forever. The races start at 7:30 at Mohawk. It's 6:30 now. I should have known that. It has me, now I've made up time, but my post time at Mohawk is 9:15, and my GPS right now says 8:43 p.m. I arrive at Mohawk. So, not ideal. And I don't have my Nexus card. It did arrive. It's in Ontario, but it is not on my person, which means I am going to have to go through the normal lines. Now, I'm going to be going through at about 7 o'clock, so it's not like I'm going through a rush hour. And I have no idea how the lineup will be, but if it's an extended lineup, could be in some trouble for making the first event. Enough about tonight. It will be whatever happens, happens. I'll either get there on time or I will not. But I couldn't have got here any quicker. Let's talk about what took up the middle part of my day. I sent you guys a video about this morning. Everything went off for the most part without a hitch. A few little wrinkles here and there always is. But how would today go? I had no idea. I told you guys, looks like Money's been racing great and his class looked great, but would I be able to get him off the car good? Would he be able to get out near the front? Would they sting me too much? I wouldn't know. Arson, he's coming on off 2 questionable miles. You know, I know the track isn't the greatest at Mohawk right now, so where does 53 put him? I don't know. Well, that's the open at Mohawk, so it's not like he's coming in getting beat in condition races. This is the top of the heap in Canada right now. And I had to remember that when I was looking at the card also. Take nothing away from Buckeye Bollinger and those other horses, but the Mohawk Open is still the Mohawk Open. So I get over there. I had some other catch drives. I did okay, I think, with most of them. And then I come out with Looks Like Money. It looked to me like Hunter. Now, I don't know Killer Instinct that well. Nice horse. Really nice little horse. But I beat him off the gate twice. Just barely get over in front of him last week. And if he could hold me and Dave Pallone to the right of him going into the first turn, I would be stacked 3 deep. Which Hunter would eventually let Dave go. Dave would eventually let me go. If Ronnie was leaving, I would have to let him go. But I was going to pay a price. Oddly enough, they said go. We blasted out of there. Dave Pallone and I both got over in front of Hunter right away. I made the front pretty easy. I thought I could hear somebody coming. I assumed it was Ronnie. I was going to stretch him. I wasn't going to tap the brakes. If there was a hole to be had, find it. If there wasn't, now you're going to pay the tax man. I look over, I was shocked it was Hunter. I doubled him up, I let him go. So the last thing you want to do is sting them too much. Then if somebody with some clout comes first over, maybe he folds on the front end. Maybe you don't get into the passing lane quick enough. Because at the Meadows, you know, if somebody has you headed and then you have horses stacked 2 and 3 deep, you got to come to a halt, go down to the inside. It's a good passing lane. But still, if you tax that horse clearing the front too much, you might be digging your own grave, right? 27-1 pops up. I'm like, okay with that. I think it was enough. I know that Dave isn't coming with tequila talking in behind me. I can see in the TV, Aaron's got away. Ronnie's got away last. I don't know what kind of trip he's going to work out from there. He's going to be third over at best. I guess maybe second over at best, but I don't see that happening. We start down the backstretch. Aaron's first over. Aaron's horse is not an open horse, but he's going to take a run at Hunter. All he did was just put the final nails in the coffin of Hunter. Around the last turn, you'll note that Money get out of gear a couple of times. He touched his knee. I know what happened. The track had a nice cushion on it today, but both those horses we raced today wore flip-flops. Both of them. Not what you would call a flip-flop friendly track today. The track was just in perfect summer condition. It was a little windy, you know, it still wasn't a perfect day, but wasn't what you would call flip-flop weather. So I get out in the last turn. I steadied him a little bit. Just had to leave him alone, really. You don't have to do anything magical. Just let the horse do his work. Leave him alone. That's exactly what I did. I just let him kind of work his way through it in the last turn. moved him over to the lane, and he was all business. Drove away, an easy kind of winner. I said this last week about the open pace. There'll be no open trot next week. I suspect what will happen is, in a perfect world, Spitfire Overseas will race in the open next week, open or open 2. And then the open trot will not fill at the Meadows. Looks like Money will race the following week at Miami Valley, I'm sure. And if they do happen to fill the open on that week, we'll bring Spitfire back up for that open trot. So we have some wiggle room. We have some room to maneuver in regards to our trotters. We'll see how it all plays out over the next 2 weeks. But looks like Money was, well, he was his very best today. He was awesome today. Now, I went to Arson. I warmed Arson up a mile. I just wanted to get a feel for him, make sure he was going. I know Harry had asked about putting a head pole on him last week. We never wore a head pole on him. He always wore a line pole. No, he wore a head pole when he was training down as a baby. I don't exactly remember, but I can assure you there's no possible way that he made it through an entire season of training without a head pole on the inside of him at Northfield Park. I warmed him up with the head pole, and he was fine. A head pole and Murphy blind on the left, and he seemed good. I put him on his toes, finishing up his mile, because I didn't know how things would work out. How would he get over the track with the flip-flops? Remember, I hadn't raced Looks Like Money yet as I warmed up Arson. So I'm going in there thinking flip-flops are not going to be our friend today over this track, but I want to make sure, I want to get a feel for how he seems in the flip-flops. They said go, and it only took me 2 Mississippis to know he was on point. Blasted him out of there. I let Buckeye Bollinger go. Now, the odds were all fluctuating. I was the favorite at one point. So was Ronnie at one point. I think I could kind of hear as we were going around the turn that the 2 horse was taking money. I looked at the 2. I didn't like him that much, to be honest, that horse at all. But I knew, as soon as they said go, I knew I was going to step out to the front. I almost removed him, and I said, easy now. He's coming off 2 questionable miles at Mohawk, where he raced for 1/8 of a mile. Let's not put him in a spot where you're going to get beat up or chewed up. The horse on the front's every bit as good as anybody in here. Just stay where you're at. But I wanted to kind of fake a little bit to the outside, too. I dkind of Ronnie quarter poling. So it turned out he probably wouldn't have, but I didn't want to just stay 2 and have Ronnie come hard. Now I'm sitting 3. So I kind of let him drift out of the hole like I was going to remove him, and then as you get about 6 pylons down the stretch, it's way too late to move a horse in that open pace. So I just coasted back down to the rail and stayed. Now, as it turned out, I doubt Ronnie was coming anyway, but I didn't know that at the time. So I sat in the 2-hole. I'll be frank, in the last turn I thought I was a winner for sure, but Buckeye Bollinger's a nice horse, and he fought me off, and I shot through and beat Ronnie for second. He raced really, really good, Arson. As I said to Randy, one of our partners, I think he's 2 races from an open win. He fits that class or a class below for next week, and if they need him in the open after that, no problem at all. I think at that point, time is on my side with either be in Ontario turned out or be in Ontario race for a week, but I don't think you're going to see him race in Pennsylvania. He might race next Friday, and then that would be that. If they write the class for Arson and they write the class for time is on my side, cool. I don't see that happening, but if they do, that's fine, whatever. So 2 great races today, a first and a second beat a length. Arson paced 51, come 28 seconds, and raced very, very good. Looks Like Money was as good as he's been for us over here anyway. A very, very easy kind of winner in 53-3. So a great afternoon, a good start to the day in the morning, a good afternoon. I hope it ends up good. I will talk to you all after the races tonight, likely. We got Rosetta. I have Rosetta, and James has Oh Hell No. I have Foxy Seaside, and James also has Rose Run Alexander. I knew there was another one. So good luck to all my partners tonight. I hope we have a great night at the track. I'll talk to you all very soon. Take care.